Yo, what up guys? Welcome back to Sneaker Stories. As always, I'm your host Chris Jack. Today, checking out the third official colorway of the Yeezy 700 V3, which dropped just last Saturday, the 29th of August. Without further ado, let's check them out. Alright, so the Azareth or Arzareth or whatever, another biblical reference on a Yeezy model coming out of Kanye West camp and Adidas, of course. 700 V3, this is only the second iteration that we've received here in South Africa. The original OG model over here is a pair that I had to import, but has yet not restocked globally or whatever, because we haven't received it and some other countries haven't either. So it's nice to actually just be able to get another pair of these in at least our local retail stores. But the Azareth itself is definitely a completely sidestepped colorway from the Yeezy line. It's very rare that we see something this bright and at least full with color on a particular Yeezy, whether that's even like sort of 350s or 700 V1s, V2s or V3s or whatever you're looking at from the Yeezy line. So that is something that I'm definitely very intrigued about this pair of shoes, hence the reason I got them. But I'm just going to basically show you the differences between the two and different material changes that they've made on this particular shoe. I'm going to start underneath with the outsole of the shoe. You've got a translucent sort of rubber over here. It's one of the more cool outsole midsole combinations just in terms of its organic sculpture vibe that's going on with this pair, which I really like about the 700 V3. So this one, as mentioned, translucent rubber overlay there, and then set just below that you've got this TPU sort of midsole material which wraps up into the midsole, and then just those little windows through there are the EVA foam, which is the cushioning system, at least on the 700 V3, so no boost in this particular pair. It's not necessarily uncomfortable, it's just not as comfortable as what you'd get in 700 V1 or V2 in my opinion, because those obviously have boost. From a coloring perspective, these are yellow. I'm pretty sure this is the same coloring that you got on the fully black pair of the 700 V3s, which was the last release. However, on this particular pair, they went with the blue EVA, and I think that's actually the material color. It's not just painted on there. So maybe these are the sort of limited options that they get on the coloring of that. But either way, it looks cool. Maybe not as cool as this. This is one of my favorite colorings on the outsole of the OG. But moving into the midsole of the shoe, they've gone with a complete white on here, so it's really contrasting towards this bright blue upper. I did really like the creamy color that they used in the OG and how that matched up with the exoskeleton on top. For me, it was just a little bit more subtle and stripped back on this particular pair than this super contrasting white on it. Either way, it still looks pretty good with this blue pair. Moving into the upper of the shoe, this is a monofilament engineered mesh, which is the base layer of the shoe, which is done in that blue coloring, and then you've got these streaks of white and brown which basically are knitted into that filament mesh. And then obviously the exterior of this, that exoskeleton I spoke about, is kind of like a hard sort of rubberized material, but that basically gives structure to this particular pair, and obviously a very unique design attribute as well. The nice thing about these sort of overlays, and it's the same with the OG pair and it's the same with that triple black pair that came out, all of these things glow in the dark, so that might be something that's super cheesy to you. To be honest, I've never really noticed the glow too much. I just haven't really been wearing these, to be honest, but I guess it is a cool like feature to have. It's pretty alien as well, which I don't know, this whole kind of shoe just reminds me of. And then just swinging around into the heel section, you do have an Adidas Performance logo, which is on both of the heels. That is much the same as what you got on the OG model, of course. And then just the main material underneath here is a neoprene bootie just on top. That's basically like a sock construction on this particular pair. So you don't really need these laces, which we'll get to in a second, but that's basically a mix between neoprene and mesh. You do also have two 3M hits down here in the front, so you are going to get that under certain light or flash conditions. And then just in the toe box section over here, which kind of nods its heads to the original 700 design, just kind of putting this into the family of 700s, you do have this sort of toe cap piece, which is a rubberized material, but just done in that same sort of shape that you would get on a 700 V1 or 2. Now I want to move up to the laces, because this is something that they've made a change up on, and we've seen this on a couple of different Yeezys now. It's called an infinity lace system. So basically the laces that do come with the shoes, you can't necessarily remove them without cutting them, because they have sealed it with this sort of lock at the top here. The nice thing about having infinity laces on here, it's really easy to secure. You can just kind of pull that up, and the laces will generally stay tensioned, or whatever you want to call that, once you pull that. But you do also just have this like random thing flopping around. It's not really something that I'm too mad on. I quite like the look of having the laces roll over these sort of blacked out areas into the exterior of the upper. Just kind of looks a little bit better on foot for me. But if these aren't for you, they have also provided you with a second set of laces, which I think is still in the box here. Grab those out. Which just come in this little brown cardboard sort of sleeve, where you can basically just take those out. These are like standard sort of Yeezy laces. Quite nice that you actually get a second set of these if you wanted to just replace it and get rid of the infinity lace loop thing that's going on here. Now, fun fact, just because I got these in hand, thinking about it, I think this might actually be the first pair of Yeezys that have come with a second set of laces since the OG 750s. And one thing just to note, I don't know if this makes a difference to you, but those second set of laces that are provided with the shoes are a lot thicker than the original laces, which came with the original OG pair. These are a lot thinner than those, so that's going to give you a bit of a different look on foot. I think I'm still preferring the OG personally, just looking at these side by side, just from a lacing perspective, of course, but I think colorway as well, personally. But moving on, inside of the shoe, as mentioned earlier, this is a sock-lite booty construction, so you do have neoprene all around this section over here. The insoles of the shoes are these Adidas Ortholite insoles, if I can actually get one out. Finally, and there you have it, the Ortholite, Adidas and Yeezy branding on this black insole. And there you can see the Ortholite system just on the underside of the insole. Now, there's been a lot of discussion regarding sizing on this particular pair. The OG model I went with half size up from my usual true to size, so that's a UK 9.5. It's the same size that I would take in a Yeezy 350 V2. However, having tried this pair on, I don't really know what it is. They do feel a little bit tighter and a little bit more snug here, and I know some people have been taking a full size up from their usual true to size, not their Yeezy size. Maybe just an extra half size up from the Yeezy size. However, in usual circumstances, just to be clear, I would take a UK 9.5 in Yeezy 350 and a UK 9.5 in the OGs. These I might be tempted to take a UK 10. And that is simply just from a width and snug perspective. The booties in this particular pair do loosen up over time. I have seen that with the OG model. It's a lot easier to get in and out of that particular pair after a couple of wears. So I'm still good at a half size up, so a UK 9.5. But I would suggest if you do have a wide foot, then definitely go for a full size up in these. Now, as mentioned earlier, these did drop last Saturday, the 29th of August, for the retail price point of 3,499 Rand. The price reduction in this particular pair versus the 700 V1 or V2 is purely down to the materials used. Obviously, no boost in this pair as mentioned, so that's where you're getting the saving from. So it's a really nice option as kind of an entry point if you don't have any 700s and you are sort of like price conservative over these things. Then this is probably going to be a good option for you. Whether this particular color is the one, I don't know. I'll leave it up to you guys to decide. It's definitely not something I would be wearing too often myself, but at the end of the day, it's really, really good to see some color work going on a pair of Yeezys and not just the standard sort of earth tones that we're so used to seeing time and time again. Now, if you do want to get a pair of these, you are going to have to look to the resale market, as these did sell out pretty much instantaneously, whether it was on Adidas or via shelf life here, locally speaking. So if you're looking for a couple of reliable options, please make sure to watch my video on where I buy my sneakers. There is a section on trusted resellers here in South Africa who I would recommend you get this pair of shoes from if you are looking to cop on the resale market. So that's pretty much it for the review of the 700 V3 Azareth. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you do have any further questions, please drop them in the comment section below. And don't forget, if you haven't already, please subscribe right here for more content like this down the line. And do me a favor, give the video a thumbs up. Really helps with the algorithm. But that is it from me. Catch you on the next one.